Today's video is brought to you by Assiniboia Downs Gaming and Event Center. Be sure to tune into this channel live Mondays at 8 p.m. Eastern for Monday Night Lights, hosted by Trust the Profits.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to another edition of the Pick 5 Player Show. My name is Michael Peller, aka Horse Guy Mike, and I'm your host tonight. On tonight's show, we're going to be talking about Del Mar's card this weekend. We got two Grade 1s on Saturday, the Bing Crosby and the San Diego Handicap. We're going to be going through all 5 races in the late Pick 5, starting race number 7. Going out west, really excited to get out to Del Mar. So with that being said, let's get started with race number 7, leg 1. We have a maiden claiming race going a mile and a 16th on the turf. Pretty big field here. We've got some also eligibles. We've got 15 horses total with the also eligibles intact. Maiden claiming, you always want to go a little bit deeper here than you will in some of the stakes races where you want to leverage your opinions. And with that said, I've got about 5 horses in this first leg that I feel have a shot. So hopefully we can get off on the right foot this week and get a good score to start with. We're going to start with the number 2 horse, Ankyra, with Hector Barrios on board. This horse, really like last out, ran at 86 Brisnet in a maiden special weight, dropping in class. Was at a mile and 1/8. So I think the cutback in distance is going to go really well for this horse. Previously ran at a mile at Santa Anita back in April. Had a 79 Brisnet speed figure that day. Got out for 4th. I think this horse has a good chance with the drop in class and the cutback in distance from the last out. Has only raced at a mile twice. Both times was okay. Its best race probably at that mile and 1/8 last time. So we'll see how the cutback works, but I think definitely worth including in here. The next one I want to include is the number 4, Warren's Paradise. Juan Hernandez, trained by Craig Lewis. Raced here at Del Mar last August and has not been seen since. So first off of that long extended layoff, I love this in a maiden claiming because you never really know what you're going to get. With maiden claimings, it's kind of a dice roll. And so you want to look for unknown variables here. And this long layoff is an unknown, but you know that this horse is able to perform. It was performing at the maiden special weight class beforehand, was throwing up consistent speed figures, nothing incredible. Had a couple of third place finishes, coming back off that long layoff, coming back at Del Mar, getting Lasix added. I think this horse, Warren's Paradise, the number 4 horse, has a chance to improve here first off the layoff. So definitely one I'm going to be including. The next one up, the number 6 horse, Exclusive Joni, for Kent DeSormeau, trained by Robert Hess. I think this horse, again, this is going to be a deep closer, S style on Brisnet. I think the pace setup is going to work very well for this horse. First out for Robert Hess, was previously trained by George Weaver and Neil Pesson, working in that maiden claiming ranks, moving up a little bit more expensive maiden claimer now. Was working at Churchill and at Gulfstream at that mile distance on the turf. Had an 84 Brisnet 2 back at Gulfstream. Was claimed, ran at Churchill, didn't do very well, did okay, got 4th place, beaten 10 lengths. Coming back off that claim, moving out west to Del Mar. Again, kind of a dice roll here, but I would rather take a chance on this horse than these ones that have been running kind of in Santa Anita in the same class over and over again. So number 6, Exclusive Joni, definitely one I'm going to be including here. The next one up that I want to include is the number 9, Adeli. Antonio Fresso aboard for Philip D'Amato. Philip D'Amato is the best turf trainer right now in California. Antonio Fresso, nice up-and-coming jockeys, getting some good mounts for D'Amato. This is D'Amato's first time with this horse, and I think that really gives it a class bump there. Talent-wise, it is dropping down in class. It wasn't a maiden special weight now in the maiden claiming rate. Phil D'Amato, why did he claim this horse, or why did he get this horse just to drop it down into a claiming race? You have to think that it has a shot here. If he's dropping it down in a claiming race, maybe he's only getting 1 race out of him. You have to believe that he thinks there's a good chance for it to win. So what I'm going to be including, this has one of the highest speed figures in the field, got a 91 Brisnet 2 back at Del Mar last year, has experience on this track, again, coming off of a very long layoff, so you don't know what you're getting off of that layoff. I think a lot of people are going to be putting in claims for this horse, so you have to believe Phil D'Amato is thinking it has a good shot to win. And the last horse I'm going to be including isn't also eligible. It's the number 12 Port Ellen with Umberto Rispoli on board, trained by, of course, Phil D'Amato. A horse that ran at Santa Anita in June, but before that was in Ireland, so only one race in the U.S. Didn't do very well there, had an 81 Brisnet speed figure, which is respectable for this field, but you have to assume second off layoff, second in the U.S., second for this trainer. There's got to be an improvement here. So if this horse draws in, I think it'll be a short price, but one I'm going to be including here. So those are the 5 that I'm going to be including in race number 1, race number 7, leg number 1. Leg number 2, race 8 is the Grade 2 San Diego Handicap. And this is going 1 mile and a 16th on the dirt for 3-year-olds and up. We have a big horse here. We got Defunded for Bob Baffert. This horse has been dominating in this year out in California. Has only lost 2 races this year. Lost to Art Collector in the Pegasus World Cup at Gulfstream, and then lost the San Diego Handicap to Stiletto Boy and Proxy. Proxy came back this last weekend at Monmouth to win the big race there. And then Art Collector in the Pegasus World Cup had an insane day. It was the only time that horse has been ridden by Irad Ortiz, has been ridden by Juan Hernandez every other time. I think Defunded is going to be my single for this for this ticket. There's no one else in this field I think has a shot. Maybe Pirelli, if they could take a step forward, or maybe Slow Down Andy. Slow Down Andy's kind of interesting because first race as a 4-year-old coming off of an extended layoff, slotted into the Grade 1 Met Mile against Cody's Wish, a very ambitious spot for a first-time race as a 4-year-old against older horses, against older winners in one of the biggest races of the year. So very ambitious place. You got to think Doug O'Neill knows what he's doing to put him there. And if Doug O'Neill thinks that highly of Slow Down Andy, maybe he's got a good shot here. I'm going to let him beat me and show me that he's taking that step forward, and I'm going to go with the safe bet and single Defunded in this leg of the race. Going to move on to leg number 3, race number 9. We got a 40K allowance going 1 mile on the turf. I've got a couple horses here, again, going to spread a little bit where I've got stronger opinions in the stakes races. Going with 4 horses here. The number 2 horse, Sunshine Babe, with Thiago Pereira on board. This horse has been running at this mile on the turf distance consistently. Last out actually switched to the dirt. So getting back to that turf, getting back to what they're good at, winning on the turf, won the last 2 races. I think it's a logical choice here. Should get plenty of pace set up in front to be able to close into this field. The next horse I'm going to include is the number 4 horse, Impact Warrior. Again, we're going to be kind of rolling the dice on this horse. Coming over from Ireland, we've seen in the New York circuit how well those European shippers have been working. Going over to the West Coast, not sure if that Euro form translates quite as well. But again, Phil D'Amato, best turf trainer in California right now. Kent DeSormeru on ride. I think this horse is worth a shot here. Getting Lasix for the first time. Was doing well in Ireland. Had a win. Had a second last time out. Got a 5th back in May. So hopefully it's had enough time to get acclimated to that weather down in San Diego. Next one I'm going to be including here is the number 9 horse. That's Ultimate Hype for Carla Gaines with Umberto Rispoli on board. This horse is putting up significantly high speed figures, around that high 80s, which puts it either equivalent or above every other horse in this field. Ran at 1 mile and a 16th last out, couldn't quite get there. A mile before that, also couldn't quite get there. That's 2 close losses in back-to-back races, one at Laurel, one here at Santa Anita. So I think this horse is due for a win, has the speed figures, has Rispoli on board, was working out really well in the morning, had a bullet workout 2 back. So I think this is a horse you definitely want to include here. And the last horse I'm going to be including is the number 10, With Love. And all these horses that I'm including are all deep closers, so we're hoping to get a good speed setup in this race. So With Love, again, European shipper, has been in California for 2 races now, both of them at Santa Anita. Didn't perform really well in either of them, but I'm hoping the stretch out in distance is going to be the deciding factor here. Both of those races at Santa Anita were at 6 furlongs, now stretching out to 1 mile. Its best race was at 1 mile in Ireland back in September. So again, Phil D'Amato, Antonio Fresu, I think this horse is worth a shot just from trainer and jockey alone, and with that Euro form hopefully translating. And I think third off of layoff, third with the trainer, third in the U.S., extending out in distance, I think that sets up for a winning combination here. Moving on to the next leg number 4, race number 10, the Grade 1 Bing Crosby, going 6 furlongs on the dirt. I'm going 2 deep here. I'm going with the number 2, Spirit of McKenna, as my first choice. This horse has won 4 of its only 5 races, with its only loss coming at second in an allowance last year at Del Mar. It's coming off 3 straight wins, mid to high 90s Brisnet speed figures. Has not really been challenged. Won its last race by over 3 lengths. So you have to assume that there's room for improvement here. There's really no reason to doubt this horse. I think the cutback in distance might actually help. Going from 7 furlongs in its last 2 races back down to 6 furlongs. Good breeding. Go Sapper. Joe Bravo on board. This is a horse I definitely want to include here. Been firing some good, consistent workouts. So I think Spirit of McKenna should get an okay price on it with the field here as well. The other one I'm going to be including is number 4, the Chosen Vron. When you talk about horses that win, this is a horse that all it does is win. It's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 wins in a row, all here in California. So this horse is doing really well on kind of that listed stakes track. First time jumping up into that higher graded stakes level since the Grade 2 Pat O'Brien last year at Del Mar. Has been consistently winning these listed stakes, overnight stakes. So getting back into graded company, has been putting up over 100 plus speed figures. I think it's perfect opportunity to grab this horse against better quality, prove that he's really up to the task. So I think these are the 2 horses I'm going to be going with. The 2 that I want to also mention, the number 1 horse, Hoist the Gold, was racing at Ellis, had a good win there. Before that, raced at Belmont and Churchill against Cody's Wish in both of those races. Ran a respectable second to Cody's Wish at Churchill on the Kentucky Derby undercard, was well beaten, but did beat some other good horses in that field, and then just was a complete no-show in the Met Mile, but still got a respectable speed figure. You've, of course, got Dr. Scheibel, who had an impressive race back, a couple back, where there was only 3 horses, including CZ Rocket, who's also in this race. Threw up a 103 Brisnet speed figure. Came back from that into the Met Mile. Again, not really much of a factor there. Got 5th, well beaten in that race. So Dr. Scheibel's one I don't want to touch. Hoist the Gold's one I don't want to touch. CZ Rocket, I think, is completely over the hill. A horse like American Theorem might get a good pace setup here because there is a lot of front end speed. And so if you wanted to look at one of the 2 like S-type closers, you get her number or American Theorem. They're going to get a good pace setup here. But I think the 2 that I'm going with, they're going to provide good value there. And they're going to be in a good spot where they don't necessarily need the lead. They're not pure E8s. They can sit off it and then also be in a good position to not be too far back. So those are the 2 I'm going to be going with in leg number 4. And with leg number 5, race 11, we have a maiden special weight going a mile on the turf. Going only 3 deep here, and one of those isn't also eligible. The first horse I'm going to be going with is the number 7 horse. That's Watsonville. A lot of these horses haven't started yet, so I want a horse that has a little bit of experience. So Watsonville, running in maiden special weight last out, got second, only beaten by about a length and a half with an 85 Brisnet speed figure. I think the stretch out in distance is going to help. This was an expensive purchase too, $240,000 for this horse. So you have to think that they have high expectations for him. They're going to keep running him in these maiden special weights so they can get those wins. Antonio Frezzo on board again. Hot jockey right now. So may improve with the longer distance. Ran second against a similar field last out. So I think this horse has a good shot here. The other one I'm going to be including is the number 10 horse, Precision Strike. Got second in a similar field, going a mile at Santa Anita in June. Respectable speed figures. Kind of a logical horse. You have to assume like the horse that won that race isn't here. So the horse that got second in that race against a couple other horses that are in this race, like Caribbean King, can do well. Should be coming from just off the pace, kind of a mid-pack closer. So pace setup should work out in his favor. I think Precision Strike is one you want to include here. And the last one that hopefully draws in, that's really interesting to me, is the number 16 Yellow Brick. Again, this horse has been running in maiden special weights for a while now. Last race was the end of May at Santa Anita, where it got an 87 Brisnet. Before that, 93 Brisnet, 95 Brisnet, 92. Those high 80s, low to mid 90s is consistently better than anything this field has thrown up yet from the other horses. So if that performance is replicated here, should beat this field fairly easily. Richard Mandela, Ramon Vasquez, good combination there out of quality or by Quality Road. So this is an expensive horse with high expectations. I think it's going to get a good setup and one that if it draws in, definitely going to be including in my ticket. So for now, we're going 3 deep. We'll see how the ticket ends up because I have 2 also eligibles, one in the first leg and then one in the final leg. So with that being said, here's my selections. We're going to go in race 7, the 2, 4, 6, 9, 12. Singling defunded the 6 in race 8. Going 2, 4, 9, 10 in race number 9. Going 2, 4 in race 10. And going 7, 10, 16 in race number 11. Currently, that ticket costs $60. We'll see if the also eligibles draw in and how scratches turn out. But that's where we're at for right now. Good luck to everyone on Saturday at Del Mar with the Grade 2 Del Mar Handicap and the Grade 1 being Crosby. Follow along with Trust the Profits. Make sure to like and subscribe. Give us a thumbs up on that video and comment below on who your best bet is for Saturday at Del Mar. Thank you, everyone. Follow along with me at Horse Guy Mike on Twitter, and good luck this Saturday.